I would like to introduce Wynn Greene, and he's been with us about 3 years, and he's going to tell us about his writer's journey.
Finally, that's right. So finally. All right. Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here today at Caprock Writers and Illustrators Alliance. This library is where my journey began for me.
Yes.
I met Linda Brody here, and through her I was introduced to all of you at Caprock. I want to thank Linda for double dog daring me.
I know it.
To get it off my duff and start with my craft. Today I'll take you on a journey through my works, and some that echo life's deepest challenges and triumphs, others that dance with humor and reflection. Each of my writings, from poetry to prose, holds a piece of my personal story. And in these brief moments we share, I hope to spark a connection, a realization, and even a smile. And through my limited time I have with you, I will address the following. I will share with you who I say I am, share a quick sample of my poems, quickly answer the spotlight questions, and finally provide you with a concise one-line statement of each of my current 10 projects that I'm working on.
Whoa.
So sit back and relax, and let's explore these tales together, because life, after all, is a collection of stories waiting to be told. I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm going to tell you who I am. I was born on Tuesday, 15 October 1957, and raised in a multiracial family. I was labeled as a Negro, classified as an African American, but earned my right to be called an American. I was indoctrinated as a Kennedy Democrat, but educated myself to become a Lincoln, Reagan, and now Trump Republican. Sorry, everybody. I just wanted to let you know that.
Did you say Trump?
I said Trump. I was taught to be a good, dependent employee, or at best, own my own job as a self-employed person, but have learned to become an independent entrepreneur, and perhaps, hopefully, someday become an independent investor. I was raised as a citizen of the United States, but I turned my rights over to the government. I became a GI, and I am currently a semi-retired as a regular officer and major in the United States Air Force. I started out single in Ohio, got married in Korea the first time, became a dad in Japan, got divorced in Colorado, got married for the second time in Texas, where I now have one son, 4 daughters, 3 son-in-laws, 1 daughter-in-law, and 7 grandchildren.
Oh my God.
I was raised as a Christian and became a missionary, but now I have studied, researched, and concluded that I'm an ancient astronaut theorist. And finally, I have always saw myself as a poet and songwriter. But because of my connection with Caprock, all of you have influenced me to become a writer and author of nonfiction works, of poems to explain the complex issues and capture life lessons through analogies, similes, and metaphors. Now, Linda's been asking me why in the heck I've been taking so long to put together my poems, and here's the reason why. I have more than 250 poems. They're songs and poems, mostly poems. I went back when I started putting them in the projects, and each poem now has a full-page introduction, the actual poem itself, a summary where I ask the reader to consider 3 questions. I provide an analysis of the life lesson taken from the poem, the moral of the story, and the values, social issues, or challenges addressed in the poem. So have I been busy? Yes. What I want to do is show you one of the poems, and I believe when my wife sees this, she's really going to be shocked, but we talked about this already. This particular poem is dealing with life issues. Unlike most of you, you have an idea in your mind, you want to write a story, and you start creating all these characters. I actually go through a situation or evaluate someone else's situation, and then a poem comes to me. So please, I would ask your indulgence as I share with you this first poem. And the poem itself, I actually wrote it and completed it in January of 2024. And the poem is called, using the politically correct words, "The Doggone Mobile Phone." Whatever you think that is. What if you discovered that the one you love is having an affair? You knew the things were different, for something was eerie in the air. It's not the usual suspect or someone in the past they have known, but it's the one they embrace both day and night. I'm referring to the doggone phone. The doggone mobile phone, the one they touch both morning, noon, and night. The one they carry everywhere. It's never out of sight. They're always texting to their boss or colleagues they condone, or people working at the job. They're on their doggone phone. Their alarm goes off. A group text is sent. First message. Then there's 3. No time to say, "Good morning, love." Oh, wait, I've got to pee. The messages, the phone calls, or just the music or posts with the ringtone. It all directs the mood for the day, all coming from the doggone phone. The doggone phone wakes us up in the morning. It reminds us when we're late. It tells us everywhere to go. It seems to rule our fate. Could this be karma in my life? Was I too in that zone? Was I that bastard with the leash and stayed on the doggone phone? Here's what I see today. I understand our kids today were raised with technology. They learn to master a remote before the age of 3. But as parents, we too learn to use technology for play. And it played us and captured how we work and talk all day. We surf on social media. We talk with family and friends. But this is how they got us hooked. From there, it never ends. We move this habit to our work like a multi-rotor drone and answer a text or take a call and stay on the doggone phone. So what do? Well, my advice to you, my friend, if this is your life too, and your loved one has acquiesced and you know not what to do, I know just what you're feeling because I too do feel alone. Try text them when you want to talk, because they're always on the doggone mobile phone.
Oh, no.
That didn't go over too well, by the way. Okay. So here's a concise one-sentence explanation of each of my author spotlight questions. He asked the question of, when did I first start writing? I first started writing poetry in high school as a way to channel my frustration during my mother's health crisis. What motivated me to become an ID author? I will tell you some of my story, as I wanted to write a lasting legacy through my works. And what's the story behind my latest book? I'll explain that towards the end, so I'll provide you with the concise one-line statement of all the different works, and I'll make it quick. How has Amazon contributed to my success? I'll tell you what Amazon has done for me. This is our anthology. I was able to publish one poem there. But over at the Texas High Plains, I was able to publish 3.
Oh, good.
That's right. So I'm pretty excited about that. And those guys, they didn't even know who I was. And they said, "We really like your work. Let's take a look at this." Thanks again, Linda. What was the greatest joy of writing for you? Writing allows me to explain complex issues, capture life's lessons through analogies, similes, and metaphors. What do your fans mean to you? My goal is to connect with diverse communities, including the ancient astronaut and health and wellness circles, and share my work through social media and podcasts. Talk to you more about that too. So what I'm working on next, you'll see. One of my favorite authors, sorry guys, I'm just a science fiction geek. Eric Von Daniken and Zachariah Sitchin are my favorite authors for their exploration of ancient astronaut theories. And when you're not writing, how do you spend your time? I enjoy swimming a lot, cycling, playing guitar, spending time with family, as much as I can with all my grandkids and my children, if not in person, on Facebook on Live, and currently launching my purpose-driven health initiative. And that'll be the last thing I talk about. How do you discover the e-books and books you read? Most of you are very creative and you're looking for creative ideas. I just look for books related to my current projects, focusing primarily on non-fiction topics like AI, business strategies, and health. Do you remember the first story you wrote? Yes, it was a poem and song called Peaceful Morning Coming Down. The year was 1976 while attending Youngstown State University. That poem was actually a song. I'm trying to get this published too. So anyway, I just want to share that with you. What is your writing process? I write based upon personal experiences, observations, stories told to me by others, and my analysis of things that take place in life. These situations inspire me to create poems so that I can share these stories, mostly in a non-fiction format. Do you remember the first story you ever read and the impact it had on you? Yes, I do. Here it is. It was from a book that my mother used to read to me all the time. Here's that book. It's called One Fish, Two Fish.
Oh, I love
One
that.
Fish by Theodore Seuss Geisel, who was an American children's author and cartoonist. He's also known to everyone as Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss sparked my love for rhyming and storytelling. Also, my mom used to teach my siblings and I songs that we would learn and sing. And throughout my childhood, summer day camp leaders would teach us life lessons through songs. As a Cub Scout, a Weeblo, a Boy Scout, now you see why I went to the military, I learned a lot about campfire songs. I carried the magic of songs about life lessons through college, in my fraternity, in the military, and finally onto the mission field here in America. Hence, I learned to love the sound of the rhyming of English words, while at the same time telling a compelling story through poems and songs. What is your ebook reading device or choice? I haven't settled on that yet. I'm still learning, so please forgive me. And what do you read the most for pleasure? I read books about ancient astronaut theory and explore historical relation, about exploring historical locations around the globe. Okay. Now let's talk about my work, and I'll get that real fast. Okay, KJ, thank you. I had to say this because she had the time enough she took some time to get me on track. Linda, thank you, because I was just schlepping around doing everything except this.
Double dog dare.
Double dog dare. And because I came here to write a memoir, she said, you need to write a book of poems, and this thing is a balloon. This book is called The Echoes of Resilience, Verses of Life, Love, and Legacy. It is a collection of 55 poems reflecting the resilience, love, and legacy woven through life's challenges and triumphs expressed through tributes, love songs, military experiences, religious understandings, and universal life lessons. This book here is something that it's over 400 pages, and now we're just negotiating the cover. And my son, he and his wife just had a baby, so I'm not going to blame it on him. I'm not going to Okay, so that's the one that everybody knows about. We're working on. Now here's something. Just want you to show. Also, I have my query letters on all these pages. I want to show you this. I did this purposely. My query letters are here. Joe working at the counting factory. It's a humorous and thought-provoking exploration of the absurdities of the modern workplace through the eyes of Joe, a man lost in the sea of monotony. When this came out, when I was in Colorado Springs, a little girl who was the same age as my daughter, her name is Esther, she's a Korean-American girl, she introduced this song to me, and it actually reflected my life. I was Joe at the counting factory. I had just gotten laid off, and I was seeking to become an entrepreneur. The song itself is, and I got to give them reference to this, The Elephant Show, the Canadian singing trio called Sharon, Lois, and Brahm, and Eric Nagler as the elephant. I took that little story and made an adult version. When you read it, you're going to go, oh my God, I hope this is not you. But if it is, please, you're not alone. Okay. Here's this real quick. Query letters on here as well. This is, and that was a poem. Build yourself a pipeline. Another poem. Turn it into a small book. The retelling of a story by Robert T. Kiyosaki. A modern interpretation of Robert Kiyosaki's teaching, guiding readers to shift from working for money to building lasting wealth through entrepreneurship, setting up systems, investing, and strategic planning. Okay. Pray, think, plan, and do. When I retired from the military in 1997, it was a poem that I had given to the people who attended my retirement, and through two of the jobs I was in after retirement. When I left, I shared that poem. Well, because of Linda, I took that poem, I put it in the ebook format, and now it's also in a podcast script as well. Thank you again, Linda. A practical and spiritual guide for transforming dreams into reality by balancing faith, thoughtful planning, and decisive action. Okay, the next. I have a number of family members, who have health issues. Again, I'll be 67. Everybody else has high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, or some sort of heart condition, and I don't. And they said, "You're a know-it-all." I said, "Yeah, then you should write a book." I said, "Okay." A comprehensive toolkit offering sustainable lifestyle changes through holistic, healthy food strategies for achieving lasting wellness and vitality. And yes, there is a podcast. It's 15 6-minute podcast that goes along with this one.
Wow.
Okay, you did this.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, here we are. This is the follow-up. The follow-up says, "The Path to Health and Wellness, a holistic health and guide blending ancient wisdom of modern science to empower readers with practical steps for lifelong wellness." In this book, I focus on the healing properties of vitamins, minerals, spices, using the ORAC score, the Oxygen Radical Absorption Capacity score, fucoidated in cannabis. And yes, there is a 15 6-minute podcast for that. Now, this next one, oh boy. When I shared this with her not long ago, she was not happy, but she got over it. The Art of Active Listening is transforming conversations and relationships. A communication guide that teaches the transformative power of active listening to build deeper, more meaningful connections. I had been listening to my wife talk to her family when we went to Florida. I listened to my wife talk to her boss. I listened to my wife talk to her employees, and then I listened to her talking to her children. And every time they talk, she always talks over them. So I wrote her a book. She says, "Maybe I need to read it." I said, "Maybe you need to."
You need to give me that.
Okay. A Dino's Tale of Transformation. A Dino's Veggie Victory. A playful children's story about a stubborn T-Rex learning to love vegetables, promoting healthy eating through humor and adventure. This is a collaborative effort between my daughter Olivia, who came up with the idea, gave me one line to say, "You should say this, say this, say this." And then I created a poem, and then my son started with the illustration. But right now he hasn't done that. So I jumped the gun. Sorry, KJ. I went to ChatGPT and made my own illustrations. So he's a little bit upset with me right now. So anyway, because I couldn't wait for him. Come on. Linda kept saying, "You gotta do something. Get off your dove," she said. Okay. I'm almost finished. Transforming health, Transitional Thinking, the Memoir and Realizations of a Recovering Church-A-Holic. That's all I wanted to do was write my memoir. That's all I wanted to do. That's all I wanted to do. She knows that. She said, "But you can do more than that." This is a memoir that chronicles a spiritual journey of questioning traditional beliefs and discovering deeper truths hidden in religious teachings. And that's a heck of a deal coming from being raised as a Christian and then becoming a missionary and then now classifying myself as an AAT. What that really means is that I am still a Christian. I just have a much expanded version of understanding of what I believe who God is and who we are as a people. Okay. Here's the last thing I want to share with you. Okay. Alrighty. I started working with a group of people, and in it stopped everything I was doing. This book is called Transforming Health in the Purpose-Driven Health Initiative. And so I created an ebook that explains a movement designed to empower individuals in communities across North America. We're talking about Canada, United States, and Mexico. To prevent a life-altering effects of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. That has never been an interest for me, but I just didn't know how many people around me who were suffering in silence. And so they introduced me a solution. I said, we just can't do it this way. It has to be purpose-driven. So I created this. And so in doing that, I also created the ebook. And so now I'm sending this ebook out to community leaders, wellness experts, and nurses so they can perhaps start doing things in their community. So look, again, but I want you to know something. There's also a poem with this too called See What I Need for Help, Change Your Diet, Change Your Destiny. So I need to get some rest, right? Okay. So, and as I close, I want to be able to share with you one more poem, and then I'll close with my final statement. And that's this. This past year, I did get a chance to meet my grandchildren for the very first time. My son, Wynn Michael II, he and his wife, they had their first baby on the 17th of March. And then my daughter, his younger sister, and her husband, they both are in Colorado Springs. She had her daughter on the 3rd of April, the day before her birthday. So when I went back to see them in April, I went back to see them, and I got a chance to share with them and meet my grandchildren. Although I had 5, children from Wendy, I have my own children now, and I said, yes, I made it. I'm the real deal now. I got 2. And so I met my daughters. It was wonderful. But here's the thing, though, and I want to share this, and I want to share this point. When I raise my children, I raise them with a certain perspective of life, about who they are, about what they want to be, and that was most important, what they want to be in life. And I wanted them to raise above their multicultural, because their mother is Korean, Chinese, Mongolian. So we have a really multicultural family. And all I focused on, since they were born in Japan, is to be American. Be an American and pursue your goals and dreams. And you'll determine who you are. But while I was there in April, I got a chance to have a conversation with several of my son's family members that really, not upset me, but I didn't understand it. And there were some comments that were made, and based on those comments, I wanted to address them so I can perhaps pass this message on to my grandchildren. Now, this is a poem they've never heard. You know why? Because they're not even a year old yet, so they don't even understand it. But this is a tribute to my grandchildren. So please indulge me just for a few more minutes. The poem is called Don't Focus on the Pain. And if you listen, you'll see perhaps what the argument was and what happened. How does a person find success? How should they chase their dream? Should they pursue their quest alone or build a business team? Their sole objective is to win, a medal to obtain, or seek to win the winner's cup. Don't focus on the pain. Don't focus on the pain. Turn your pain into your power. Focus on the positive. Don't cause your dreams to sour. A bitter taste left in your mouth, and there it will remain. Success is always so sweet. Don't focus on the pain. I heard somebody tell me pain is found in DNA, and what has happened in the past will never go away. To me, it's like a stumbling block and holds you back, restrained, and keeps you stymied all your life. Don't focus on the pain. Don't focus on your pain. The hurt that happened in the past should only make you more resolved, if not, the die is cast. And you will not move, stuck on stop. Your life force, it will drain, because you let others steal your dream. Don't focus on the pain. Here's what I mean. Let me explain. The olden days of slavery, some folks still hold on to. Although they weren't alive back then, they act as if it's new. They focus on the hurt and hate. They blame another race. Discrimination in reverse. The one thing they must face. That they must set their golden dream, and they must see it through and work until they win the prize with all their heart pursue. For no excuses will suffice if you fail to train. Don't blame others when you lose. Don't focus on the pain. So my advice to you, my friend, for you to win in life, remember everyone has hurt. Yes, everyone has strife. But winners win and losers lose. Get this thought through your brain. You must work, focus on your goal, and don't focus on the pain. The last statement says, and you'll know it says, remember my grandchildren. Focus more on defining who you are, what you aspire to become, and what you aim to achieve in life, rather than worrying about others' expectations or opinions of you. Let your goals and dreams steer your path, and you acquire the necessary skills to succeed. So in conclusion, I want to thank you for taking this journey with me today. From resilience to financial freedom, and from health to faith. These works represent a lifetime of reflection, growth, and transformation. Each one is a thread in the larger tapestry of our shared human experiences. And when this meeting is over, and as you leave here today, I hope you carry with you not just the words, but the inspiration to tell your own stories. Ask your own questions. And most importantly, listen to the world around you. Because at the end of the day, it's our stories that connects us and define us and ultimately guide us. Thank you.
Okay, Wynn, I have a question.
Yes.
All of the things you put up there, they have that circle with the wings and the GP. What
Yes.
does this? What's that for?
That's branding. That's me. That's my branding.
Okay, what's the GP for?
GP is Greene Payne, my family.
Oh, okay.
Greene Payne. My last name is Greene. The actual name is Payne.
Oh, okay.
So,
Cool.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm a window pane. There's even a show called, used to be a show or a movie called Major Payne. So if you get that storyline,
Oh.
okay. Thank you.
Thank
That
you.
was great.